James chapter 2. We'll begin reading the 14th verse. James chapter 2. What good is it, my brothers, if a man claims to have faith but has no deeds? Can such a faith save him? Suppose a brother or sister is without clothes and daily food. One of you says to him, "Go, I wish you well, keep warm and fed," but does nothing about his physical needs. What good is it? In the same way, faith by itself is not accompanied by action is dead. But someone will say, "You have faith, I have deeds." Show me your faith without deeds, and I'll show you my faith for what I do. You believe there is one God? Good. Even the demons believe that and shudder. You foolish man, don't you want evidence that faith without deeds is useless? Was not our ancestor Abraham considered righteous for what he did when he offered his son Isaac on the altar? You see that his faith and his actions working together, and his faith was made complete by what he did. And the scripture was fulfilled that says, Abraham believed God, and was credited him as righteousness. And he was called God's friend. You see that a person is justified by what he does and not by faith alone. In the same way, was not even Rahab, the prostitute, considered righteous for what she did when she gave lodging to the spies and sent them on a different direction? As the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without deeds is dead. Lord, we thank you for the day, and we thank you so much for your word. Guide us in all truth. In your son's name. Last week we took a look at first part of chapter 2, dealing with favoritism in the church. We talked about how it's discrimination. It is basically a form of judging. Matter of fact, it ends up by saying, how you judge is how you're going to be judged. It is a judging that's based on what a person can do for me. So you're treating a person in a special way based on the judgment you make about them. We looked at how God chose the poor to be rich in faith. It was them, the poor, that actually are looking more for God because of their needs rather than the ones who are rich. Talked about how he was saying how showing partiality or discrimination or favoritism actually is a breaking of the royal law of God. When we talk about the royal law of God, it's the law that all God's laws from the beginning have always been written around, which Jesus defined it as saying, love God, love your neighbor. And if you look, every single commandment, every directive, everything is related to one of those two. That is the law of the King, God. All right, we looked how looking to the need, the perfect law of liberty requires that our judgments be based on mercy for the merciful. And as you judge, so you'll be judged. So when we judge people in church and wherever, we need to be doing it in a merciful way instead of making a priority list or whatever based on what makes us feel important. We looked at it specifically, how it applies into our lives as a church or whatever, specifically here at Temple, and made some notes we need to be aware of. There is favoritism. It happens all the time. Sometimes unaware, sometimes unaware. We talked about how cliques and groups and people get together because of certain common interests. And we use illustration that some of us go out to eat. We made it very clear. Everybody's welcome to that. But sometimes people might have an idea that they feel excluded if it's not specifically invited or mentioned. So you need to be aware of that to make sure. We talked about how families, we have large family groups here, and sometimes people feel as an outsider because they're not part of that family, and they feel like they're not part of it. We talked about, some people have positions of power in the neighborhood, or political things, or wealth, or things, and so that these kind of things makes people feel uncomfortable being around other people. We need to get away from all that, because basically, God says in the church, there is no distinction between Jew, Gentile, whatever. Yeah.
I just want to talk about uncomfortability a little bit, because I believe as a disciple, and from what I read in the scriptures, that when someone is uncomfortable or offended, they're the person in the wrong. And so when I go to every single church, I don't know everybody. And I don't know anybody sometimes. So I make it an effort to go around and visit every single person, so that when I'm at home here in the church, I'm at home. You're all my brothers and sisters, and there's no reason that I shouldn't know you. There's no reason I should be uncomfortable around you.
That's true. I was deep thought trying to figure out where I was going to go. Whatever, he smacked me on the head and said, "Hey, I haven't seen you. How you doing?" This morning. He does. So That's a good point. And we may ought to take that perspective every day or whatever when we see, even in our own local congregations, like everybody's doing, trying to do whatever. Yes.
I know a lady, she's a preacher's wife, and she's now 90, but she's in the Huntsville area. And she made them practice every Sunday to sit somewhere different. Her husband would look at her, and he'd have no idea where his wife was.
Well, that's a good way to cause a lot of people uncomfortable because a lot of folks have their names on their seat. All right. One of the illustrations I meant to mention that I didn't bring about to show us how unaware we are sometimes is this. Many years ago, when I first went to work, we went to Dothan, Alabama. I went to church there and had a large congregation, nice people, great group of folks, and we were young married, no kids, and there was a large group, probably 18 or 20 of us, and we were having some conversation with one of a little bit older people. We were talking or whatever, and he said something about got to be aware or whatever because they're talking about this division, sometimes this cliquishness and things like that occur or whatever. And he's talking about like the pretty people. And I said, what do you mean by that? He said, well, you know, you heard it. I said, what? What are you talking about? He said, you know, got a job, doing well, you have a nice family, and all these things, and all these different groups. And I thought we were having a nice social group that was doing things together and doing all these things. And I was like, And then I started looking around and I realized there was about 3 or 4 couples that were our age, in the same boat we were, but felt like they were on the outside. And they were a little different than us and had not the same things in common. And because of that, we didn't necessarily associate, but it wasn't because I specifically excluded them. It was because we didn't specifically include them. So sometimes we need to go out of our way. And that's what the point is, that sometimes we do these things unaware, and we need to make sure that we are being aware and consciously go out to do that. All right, moving on. All right, I got a lot to get through, so we'll be here by 11 o'clock. Go ahead.
When we first moved here, I was told by someone here that I would never break into the cliques, you know. And Charles Rollins was the one that brought me a pie and said, girl, go for it.
Yeah. He was good about it.
And I did. I made a point of going to other people. And I didn't wait for them to come to me. Because where we had been, which was 6 congregations before we came here, we just jumped right in and did things, you know, because we wanted to get to know the people. We didn't stand back and wait for them.
So that's a word to those who feel on the outside. Make yourself part of the inside. So it goes both ways, and that's true. Also, when from the outside, the community, we need to be viewed. We talked about sometimes the church can be viewed as exclusive versus inclusive. We need to make sure we are viewed as inclusive, that anyone is welcome here rather than, oh yeah, that's their church. So let's make sure we do that. The other thing we need to do is, when helping others, we need to do it as a servant, not as a benefactor, especially in missions. And we talked about that, especially with the Cuban church, but it applies in all situations. When we do things to help people, sometimes we don't want them to leave the feeling that we're helping them because we're better or whatever. We want to make sure that we're down on their level and helping them. And it's one of the biggest issues we deal with in missions. And I talked about it specifically last week about the church in Cuba because, you've heard the expression, the ugly Americans. Well, it's the same thing in the church because they can get the view that we're coming down there to tell them how to be a church and how to do this and do that, instead of sitting down with them and lifting them up with us as side-by-side partners. Speaking of my Cuban brothers. All right, today we're going to take a look at, we're looking at faith and works. And I said there's got a lot to deal with here because this is a tough topic, and I've got a lot to deal with here. So, first thing we want to look at is this. And James, when we talk about this, and we in the church have a tendency to jump right into this. Why? It's valid. He says, faith without works or deeds is what? Dead. Dead? What's that mean? Dead. Alive. Not going anywhere. As a matter of fact, in verse 14, the things that he says about faith here, in verse 14, he says, faith without deeds cannot save. 16, James says, talk without any action or backing it up is worthless. It's in vain. Verse 17, faith by itself is dead. It's not active. It's not alive. It's not existent. Verse 22, faith was made complete, not by what Abraham taught or said, but by what he did. Verse 21 and 25 tell us that Abraham and Rahab were made righteous by what they did. Even though Rahab wasn't even a believer in God, per se. She was not a Jew. Verse 24, a person is justified by what he does and not by faith alone.
Amen.
All right? Now, what I want us to get, and that's we'll come back to James in a minute, but I want us to use that. That is what James is hammering over and over and over. And actually, it's no different than what he said in the first chapter, in the first half of chapter 2. It's just a continuation of the same thing. Your religion is not worth anything if it's all about how you appear, how you talk, what you say, how you present yourself. It's really about action. And so he continues on with that. What I want us to get is this. The Bible does not contradict itself. Sometimes we say that, but we don't always mean that. We need to understand, it does not contradict itself, which gives you one or two choices. The first choice is you accept it all, or you reject it all. That's really what you got. You can't take and pick and choose and pick a piece, a part. Even the writer here talks about the contradictions or the differences between what Paul writes and what James writes. I submit to you, the Bible, if you're going to read it, you can't take Paul, or you can't take James. You've got to take Paul and James.
Right.
You take it all, or you reject it all and go live your life without God, which is an option. I don't recommend it, but it is an option. And with that in mind, that's how we need to look at this topic. And too many times in the church and in Christendom as a whole, we don't do that. We come up with theologies and ideas and religious concepts that we put together from bits and pieces. Instead, we need to go back to what he says here. To understand faith, one of the first things we need to do is found in chapter 2, verse 14. And I read over this all the time. It says, what good is it, my brothers, if a man claims to have faith, but has no deeds? We all get that, right? Nobody's missed that part, right? You know what the next part says? Can such faith save him? Do you know what that means? There's more than one faith. There's more than one type of faith. Because he says such. That means you got that faith. There's got to be something else, at least one other type of faith. As a matter of fact, he defines it, the faith that saves, which means there's one that does not. Too many times we talk about faith, we talk about this magic word and what it means, and it means, some will say it means to call upon the name of the Lord. Some will say it means to believe it in your heart. Some says it means to believe and be baptized. The fact of the matter is, there is faith. But there are different types. We can't lump them in together. So when we study faith, we have to make sure we know what it's talking about, what kind of faith it's really talking about. So before we talk about anything, we need to get that in our heads, that there is a faith that saves and a faith that doesn't. Okay? Because there is such a faith. So he defines that way. Now he goes on in James, in verse 23, and he says that there is a faith that saves. Who had it? Abraham. Remember that. We're going to come back to that. Put a big old peg on that. Abraham has the saving faith. In verse 19, what do we read about? What kind of faith? The one that Satan has, the demons have. Even they believe. But what is different about theirs? There is no life. There is no salvation in their belief. Okay? throughout the Bible, we see three words mixed together too often, translated into English: belief, faith, and trust. Sometimes we make distinctions, sometimes we don't in the text. I'm not a Greek expert, but a lot of times they're all talking about the same thing. You have to get it in context. What kind of belief, what kind of faith, what kind of trust, whatever you're talking about. To really understand what it's talking about. You can't just call it one thing and say, okay, that's the one that saves. That's not it. And so as we look at this, we need to understand that. So there is a faith that saves, like Abraham clearly says, and the same writer says it in the same context. And he also says there's a faith that doesn't save, and the demons have it, or Satan and his followers. So there is a distinction there. So we look at faith, belief, and trust. Like I said, they're all kind of used the same. Got to get it out through the context. But really, as I have gone through it, the key is in the degree of faith. You see, there's a total trust and a basic belief. You know, when you talk about belief and you're talking about trust, faith, a lot of times I try to define it in the previous classes. When I talk about faith, I said, the faith that God's talking about is one that says, put yourself in His hands, and if you fall, you rely on Him to catch you. It's a kind that's a trust. I like to use the word trust for what the faith that God wants. And then I talk about belief as something that's not necessarily that level. It's an acknowledgement that there is a God, that He exists. But it's nothing about trusting Him. It's about knowing that He exists, but that's it. Which is basically what he's trying to tell us between the difference between Abraham and Satan, isn't he? So that's what he's looking at there. So when we look at it, it has to do with the degree in all these cases. A saving faith is one that is so strong that what happens? What happens? You do something. Leads us to action. Leads us to action. That is the degree of the belief. It leads us to action. One that does not save is one where you acknowledge truth but don't do anything. You give of your you choose to rebel and trust yourself instead of and give to yourself. It's all about yourself. I wrote the wrong word. Whereas saving faith is giving of yourself and putting yourself in God's hands. The other is doing it by myself, trusting in me, doing what I want to do. It's a rebellious one. One example, look at Satan. Does Satan believe in God? Absolutely. Is he going to be saved? No. What's the difference about his belief? He's rebellious from the beginning. It's always about doing what he wants, not what God wants. It's always about who's in charge, him. It's not a belief that says, I'm going to act in such a way that I will live with you for eternity. Instead, it's, I can get through it without you and I'll show you. It's rebellion. There's a difference. There's two different kinds there. Jesus himself told us in John chapter 14, 15, and 16, there's several places he talks about it there. If you love me, you do what I say. And if you don't love me, you won't. He equates those things in mathematical terms. It's real simple. You do, you love. You don't love. Now, people who go on the basis and say actions have nothing to do with it, that's not what Jesus said. He said actions are very critical, very important. Because if you don't do the actions, I don't care what you say, the fact of the matter is he's going to say, I never knew you. Why? Because you didn't do the actions, therefore you didn't love. He puts those together very clearly. And I don't understand, but we need to go back to that first thing I said. If God says it in one place, he means it in all places. We just got to figure out how it all fits together. Sometimes we don't understand how they mesh. But the reality is one doesn't contradict the other. So when we look at faith and works, we've got to look at it there. All right, the next thing is this. Well, that saving faith that we were talking about, we looked at Abraham. He had total trust. And what else did he do? Obeyed. God said go, he went. God said jump, he jumped. God said don't. 95, I'm not going to get a percentage. Most of the time, he strove to do that. Now, we know he didn't always trust God. So that gives us a clear example that we don't have to be 100% perfect. But we do, as a general lifestyle, have to do that. And he did what God said. He was obedient. Satan, on the other hand, has a non-saving faith. He has a belief about God, but it's totally full of rebellion. All right? So it's what you do about your belief that saves. James tells us in the 17th verse, and if James says it, who says it? God says it. James says, faith alone without action is dead. In the 24th verse, he says, man is justified by what he does, not faith alone. Interestingly enough, when you hear the term faith alone, do you ever remember hear those two verses? No. But those are the only two times in the Bible those two words are put together like that. Yeah. The only two times. And in both cases, it says that God, and James says exactly the opposite. Now, when you go to Romans, verse 24, chapter 3, verse 28, Luther has added, after man is justified by faith, and inserts the word alone in a paraphrase, because that was his understanding. And that's where the term we hear throughout Christendom comes from, faith alone. It says it was justified by faith alone. But it's not there. So we need to understand, the question is, that's what man says, and here's the two things that God says about faith alone. Tuck that away. Remember that, because what we're trying to accomplish is what? Who says? God says. All right. Now, he took a part of what Paul says. So we need to understand what Paul is really saying and not what Luther thinks Paul's saying, or Billy Bob, or me, or anybody else thinks. We need to understand what he's saying there. So we see that, and we do. Today's lesson, I wanted to gear toward getting an understanding of what faith is. James brings it out. Who's the one that he holds up as having a saving faith? Abraham. So I want to take a look at Abraham, his faith. Both, and Paul described Abraham, and I think James may too, as the father of faith. I know Abraham in Romans, he's called the father of the faithful, because he was the one that has all demonstrated what faith is all about. He's the one that all people would be saved through faith. So I want to look at him and see some examples of what he's talking about there. So the next place I want us to go is to Romans chapter 3. Paul is taking a different tack because he's having a different discussion. Who's he writing to try to tell, stop behaving the way you are? Jewish Christians. We're relying on the law. Why? Who saves? God. All right? So he wants them to get this point. So when we look at Romans chapter 4 and verse 3, he says, what does the scripture say? Abraham believed God and it was credited to him as righteousness. When we look at the 4th chapter and he starts talking about some things, verses 2 and 4 here tell us that that Abraham was not justified through his works. What does he mean by that? What's justified mean? Saved? Technically, yes. Technically it means made right. Justified means, okay, I'm going to make an exception and justify you, or justification for moving you over here to the righteous column, basically. And so he was justified or made righteous not by what he did, not his works, not his actions. That's not what justified him. Okay? And that's what he's trying to say here. That's what Paul's trying to say. It wasn't because he was a good guy and followed the law that made him righteous. He was given righteousness. question is why? Okay? It goes on to say that it was based, in verse 5, the man who does not work but trusts God, there's that word I like, trusts God, who justifies the wicked. So God justifies those sinful that trust in Him. So we see that Abraham, even though he was sinful, he was justified. He was made right. He was credited the righteousness to him, even though he was just like any other person who's sinful. It was given to him as a gift. Verse 4 says. So it's based on his trust in one who will make the sinful righteous, or can. Verse 18.
Scott,
Yeah,
would you speak to the first part of that verse, chapter 4?
chapter 4.
I mean, not chapter 4, verse 4.
Verse 4. Works. His wages are not credited as a man who goes to work, works for me, when he comes Friday, he is owed a check. When we do things for God, we are not owed anything. Because no matter how much work we do, will not pay for the blood of Christ and salvation. That's what he's trying to say. It's not earned. It is a gift. God has to credit it to us. He has to put it on our account. We're in the red. It's an accounting term. We're in the red. We owe. We can't pay off the debt. God credits it to us and puts us back in the black, in good standing. That's what he's trying to say. The question is, what does that mean? We understand what that means, but how do you get to that? Going on, and that's Paul's emphasis, is to stop trying to pay the bill off. You can't pay it. That's what Paul's trying to emphasize. He doesn't say there aren't things you're supposed to do. He says you can't pay the bill off. That's all he's really trying to say. You can't pay the bill. Only God can, and God says He does it for those who are sinful if they trust Him. That faith that leads to, that's more than just belief. It's more than that, it's trust. And to see that, let's go on a little further. So down to verse 18. Against all hope, Abraham believed, and therefore he became the father of many nations. Verse 20. He didn't waver through unbelief regarding the promise of God. So one of the key things about Abraham was what? What kind of belief did he have? An unwavering belief. He didn't give up. Against all hope. Hope is against him. God is against him having a baby and a father of a multitude of nations. Impossible. Except if you trusted in someone to make the impossible possible. And that's what he's saying. He had an unswerving, unfaltering belief that God would make it possible even though it was impossible. So that's the kind of faith we're talking about when we look at Abraham, all right? As a matter of fact, in verse 21, being fully persuaded. He didn't just half-heartedly think, well, yeah, I guess it could if you want. He was fully persuaded that God had the power to do what He promised. Period. End of discussion. He had the power to do it, so I'm just going to be fully persuaded He can do it and will do it. That's faith. Not just a mental assent and not just an acknowledgement, but more than that. He goes on, let's go. He says in the next verse 22, but let's go on to Galatians chapter 3. This is Paul again. Galatians, Ephesians. No, Mark, sorry, get to it faster. All right, Galatians chapter 3, verse 6. Consider Abraham. That's what I want us to look at. Consider him. He believed God, and it was credited to him through his righteousness. So because of this faith, whatever that is that Abraham has, we've already seen that it's one that is a trust. It's one that's against all, believing against all hope. A non-wavering, a fully persuasive one. Because of that, it was credited to him, or he was given righteousness. Of works righteousness, you got to be righteous to be saved. So that's the key to salvation. Is you got to be righteous. You got to be made whole. You got to be on the black over here. You can't be in the red. You want to look at it from the county example. You got to be righteous, and we're made righteous. He was made righteous because of these things. All right, verse 9, chapter 3, verse 9. He goes on to tell us that all who have faith are blessed, along with Abraham. So now he takes that extension and brings it right down to who? Me. I'm blessed if I have the faith of Abraham. So there's what I want, that saving faith, the faith like Abraham. Okay? Verse 10. All who rely on observing the law are what? Okay, back to what Jones brought out. What he mentioned in Romans. If you rely on the law, when he says that, what is he talking about? Ourselves. Doing what God requires to be righteous. Thou shalt, okay, I got to check it off on my own. Thou shalt not. I have to check it off on my own. I have to follow that law and be perfect. And he tells us that doesn't happen. And so because of that, those that observe that law, they're under a curse. You rely on Jesus to get you in the red, out of the red by making you righteous, then you have it. If you rely on yourself, you don't. You see, that's what Paul's emphasis all along in all the writings that he writes about was stop trusting yourself. Because when you try to do it yourself and follow the law and be perfect, you're going to fail. And when you fail, you will not have righteousness. Only faith, dependent upon God to just make it happen. Putting yourself in His hands completely will give you that. That's what Paul was trying to emphasize. It doesn't say, just call on His name and that's all you have to do and He'll do that. What he says is, have that fully persuasive belief that God can make you righteous, even though you're falling down every day. That's the kind of faith that Paul is emphasizing that we need to have. This was part of Abraham's faith. But it doesn't stop there. Going down to chapter 5, in Galatians still, verse 6, he goes on to say, in Christ Jesus, neither circumcision, and then there's following the law, of those who were given the law, or the non-circumcision, those who didn't have the law, has any value. The only thing that counts is what?
Faith expressed through love.
There you go. Not faith, but more than that. Faith expressing itself through love. Now, what kind of love is he talking about? Eros? No. Agape. What is agape? Self-sacrificial love. Giving of yourself. You don't have agape if you sit back and say, hope you're, in James' case, be dressed and feel warm and fuzzy and be well fed. No. That means doing something about it. So he's sitting here saying, even in the context here, Paul is saying, it's not just believing that God is and saying, yeah, He's God. It's more than that. It's a faith that expresses itself through action in a loving, selfless, giving way. God says, do it, do it. Is it something you want to do? Not necessarily. Doesn't matter. Because you're giving. You're doing what God asks, whether it's toward the other or toward the fellow man. Remember the royal law in the earlier part of this chapter? Of God, of man. So when you talk about giving and doing, not selfishly, you're doing it for God and for man. So that's what kind of faith he's talking about there. Going on out of Galatians. Back to James. Let's go back there. When he talks about Abraham and James, he gets pretty definitive here. Now keep in mind, both of these are writing on behalf of God. They're not in contradiction to each other. So Paul is trying to say, stop trying to earn your way to heaven. You can't do it. God has to give it to you. But he gives it to you when you're faithful to him. You have that faith like Abraham, and he will make it right for you. James said the same thing. It's God speaking again. James instead is he's adding some other different things to it. He's saying this. Verse 21. Abraham was made righteous. How? For what he did. Not what he said. Not what he thought. What he did. And he goes on to say specifically one primary example. When he offered his son on the altar. When he went and offered his son on the altar, it was a demonstration of his faith. Now, do you think God would have said, yes, you're faithful, but he goes, I don't know, that's my only son, and it took me 100 years to get him. I don't think I need to do that, and I really love you anyway, and I trust you, and I follow you, and I believe in you. And he doesn't do what God says. Do you think God would call that faithful and credit him righteousness? Well, you don't have to guess. James says no. That's not for debate. James says no. It was because he did it. Incidentally, a little side note, God is faithful to us, is he not? What did he do? He offered his son. He didn't hold back. What would happen if God would have held back and changed his mind and said, no, I'm not going to do that? Would he have been faithful to man? No. Because he made a commitment to make man right through the death of his son. You ask God to be faithful, but you don't ask us to be faithful? You ask God to act, but not us? Going on, he tells us, he offered his son Isaac. In verse 22, his faith was made complete, not by what he thought, but by what? What he did. Does any of this really contradict what Paul said? No, it's just another part of it. He believed, he offered, but does it say that he earned it? Does it say that Abraham earned it right there in verse 23? No. It says he believed, he offered, in other words, he acted, but it was God that credited it. It's a matter, so the question is, it's a matter of earning or crediting. That's really the distinction between what's going on here. Both are saying God credits it. But you do have to do something. Whatever he asks. Jump off a cliff. Whatever God asks, you do it. That's how God makes a determination whether he'll credit it or not. Okay? Hebrews. Barnabas, or some would say Apollos, or whoever wrote this. Hebrews chapter 11. Faith is being sure of what we hope for. Okay? Now, verse 8. By faith, Abraham, when called, did what? Obeyed and went. Words come out of the Bible there. Obeyed and went. Verse 9. By faith, he lived in tents while looking for a city promised. I thought that was neat, whatever, but how does that fit in? Well, he explains a little bit further on, verse 14 and 16. He says, living in tents is a demonstration of looking which direction? Toward what God said, whereas if you were looking back and not going toward what God said, you'd be going back home. The action demonstrated which way he was looking, toward the promise that God made and had faith that that would happen. If he didn't have that faith or whatever, he'd be turned around and going back home. So the question there is, they lived in a tent, even though they didn't see what was happening, because they were looking toward that promise, believing that it was going to happen. If they didn't have that kind of faith, that they would live in a tent, they didn't have faith. Their actions would have said go the other way, and they wouldn't have faith. By faith, he became a father because he never gave up. Verse 11. Verse 17. By faith, he offered Isaac as a sacrifice. Why? Now, he knew that this was not just his only son, but the child of promise. He'd already been told, quit making other sons. They're not the child of promise. He knew Isaac was the one. Now God tells him to kill him. He says that even though he knew he was the one, he reasoned that even though he's the one, God could make it right. God could bring him from the dead. God could do what he did, accomplish what he promised. So he went ahead. Abraham's actions demonstrate how sure he was of what he hoped for, which is what the first verse of chapter 11 says. Faith is being sure of what we hope for. His actions demonstrated what he was looking for, what he was hoping for. All right, for us, what does that mean for us? The question I want to ask you this is, when eternal life is on the line, who are you going to believe? Me? Don't. There's no picking and choosing, it's all or nothing. Because it's all true or it's all lies. If it's all true, there is no contradictions. That means James and Peter were and Paul were on the same page. We must obey God, which is James, Paul, John, whoever the writer of Hebrews was. Not men, Luther, other preachers, teachers, theologians, myself, anybody else. You need to understand that faith without action is dead and does not save. James said so very clearly. Justification, or being made right, is for an obedient faith. Amen. Justification is given, not earned. See, both of those can go hand in hand. You can be obedient and do things God tells you to do without earning it. Obedience is required, but it's not the source of our salvation. Did the Jews earn forgiveness by going and offering a sacrifice once a year? Or was it credited to them? That was a work. That was an action if you want to get by it. They were required to do it. If they didn't, it wasn't okay. But if they did that, they didn't earn a thing by going through that motion and doing the action that God told them to do. It was credited to them. Belief without an obedient action is just as rebellious as Satan is. No difference. So a person who says that he believes in God and truly does, but he doesn't obey, is no different than Satan when it comes to rebellion. Just like in Hebrews 1, there is no sure of if we don't act as if we believe. If you believe the house is on fire and you don't act, what's going to happen? You're going to die. When the fireman says, jump, the house is on fire, we'll catch you. And you say, yeah, it's on fire. But you don't jump, what's going to happen? Die. If you believe him when he says the house is on fire and you jump, what's going to happen? You're going to live. They catch you in the bouncy thing. And you live. But, let me ask you this. Did you earn it? Did you earn the right to live? No. Who saved you? The fireman. You didn't save yourself. In one sense you did because you listened and obeyed. But the real saving was by the fireman. If the fireman wasn't there to be merciful to you, they could have just sat back and said, yep, house is on fire. Jump. Do whatever you're going to do. Save yourself. But it's because of the mercy of the fireman that they were saved. So the difference between God offering a way for us to be saved if you just jump in his arms. Do what he says. The last thing I want to mention real quick. Go on. Just ask Adam. We don't talk about that. Ask Adam. Faith, eat of this tree, you get life. Trust me. That's all God said. Eat this tree, you'll have life. And everything. Did Adam know God? He walked and talked with him, he believed him. And for some period of time, he ate of that tree and did what God did and trusted him. And guess what he had? Life. He says, but if you eat of this other tree that says, I want to do it by myself, knowledge of good and evil. If you do that, you have decided that you don't want to trust me for life, you want to trust yourself. And when you do that, what happens? You're going to die. Now, when Eve said, that sounds good, was she lost? Did she die? When did she die? When she ate? When she acted? As long as Adam was eating the tree of life and acting, he lived. He believed, and as long as they were in the right place, and their actions matched that belief, then they were salvation. When they didn't act, they acted in the way God said not to act, and death came in. Because they put the trust in Him. Look at Adam. Real simple. Started that way. It's going to be that way to the end. All right. We're out of time. Next week, we're going to look at chapter 3.